If you didn't know, Dead Island 3 kinda got announced a couple weeks ago, and this raises a whole heap of speculation from myself. Now, the number one question in my mind is, where is Dead Island 3 going to be set? Unfortunately, there's no concrete evidence so far, but I wanted to theorize about a couple possible locations based on a few hints potentially given by developers. Before we jump straight into this video, you should join my Discord. In my Discord, we have so many conversations about games in general, whether it be Dead Island, Saints Row, Bethesda games, whatever's new and thriving, we're usually talking about it. So feel free to join and meet people like yourself who want to talk about games. Now let's get into the video. But firstly, let's clear something up. We are definitely going to be leaving LA. The art shows packed bags and says there's no more room there, so any sequel isn't going to be set in that location, so it's nice that we can rule that one out nice and quickly. Now that we've sped through LA, we can actually talk about the possibilities here. I think a really big possibility for Dead Island 3 is a return to Banoi. Now, I have a few things to back this up, but they could also kind of be nothing. The first thing is that Sam B was in Dead Island 2 and he was pretty prominent. I think people are going to want to see a continuation of Sam B's story, and I do kind of consider his character a bit of nostalgia bait for earlier Dead Island fans. So it seems kind of likely the developers might want to continue that sort of nostalgia arc with Sam B by giving him a return to Banoi. The other thing I have to back this up, which perhaps is a little more concrete, but it depends on how you feel on it, is if you look at Jacob's suitcase in this art here, you can see a Visit Banoi sticker. Now, obviously, right above it is an I Heart LA sticker, so that doesn't necessarily mean a great deal, you're probably thinking. And I kind of agree, this could absolutely mean that it's just a little hint to the prior games and we have no idea what the future is going to be. But below that is also a kangaroo. Now, if there's any location tied to kangaroos, which one is it? Well, it's Australia. Want to know a fun fact about Banoi? Well, Banoi is set on a fictional island near Papua New Guinea and Australia, so this could basically be another hint towards the fact that Banoi is where he has packed his bags and he's off to go. On the flip side of that, this could also just be another hint that we visited Banoi previously, and that we're not going to be going back. So, a potential is Banoi. There's no reason why that would be ruled out, and I would personally be okay with this. I know that nostalgia bait is very heavy in media at the moment, and it's very oversaturated, but Banoi is one of my favorite zombie settings of all time. I think it's beautiful, I think it's so creepy, I'm in love with it. So if we were to ever revisit Banoi, I would be so on board for that, even though a lot of people probably wouldn't. Another thing that could kind of lead me to the thought of Banoi being a place we're going to be revisiting is the Colosseum sticker. This one is a bit of a reach, but I want you to hear me out on it. So, obviously there's no Colosseum in Dead Island previously, but what there was is the Bloodbath arenas. These were arenas set on Banoi and Riptide's island, which I think was like Penal Island. I'll actually have to look it up. It was Banoi Island, apparently. So yeah, we had arenas on both Banoi and Banoi Island. I don't see them necessarily wanting to return to Riptide, but Riptide's island was actually really close to Banoi. A lot of people don't know this, but we can actually see a map of the old Dead Island games. So obviously the main game was set on Banoi, which is the largest island, and then there is a slightly smaller island called Banoi, where Riptide was set. And there are two other islands, one called Amaya, and the other Narapella. My point is, though, that those islands are very close, and we could potentially see a Dead Island game that would actually let us revisit all of the islands, which would be pretty cool. Of course, I am kind of reaching there. I'm grabbing that all from a sticker that says Colosseum that could mean literally anything, but to my knowledge, the Bloodbath Arena is the closest thing to a Colosseum in Dead Island thus far. Now, obviously on the suitcase, there is also a sort of Irish island sticker. I have no idea what this means. This could mean that they're planning on setting the game in Ireland. It's possible, absolutely possible. I just don't see that happening. I don't really know what this sticker relates to. Perhaps it's simply just Danny's sticker. On the backpack of Jacob here, though, you can see a sort of moon sticker with a bulletin.
Call on Chelsea.
Now, what's interesting about this is a reference to A Trip to the Moon, which is apparently a really old film. This was pointed out to me by a subscriber in the Discord, which you should all absolutely join. But yeah, perhaps they're hinting at a potential going to the moon location. If they are, that sounds really lame. I'm not gonna lie. Please don't. That sounds terrible. But it's possible. You never know. And then there is also stuff like the Gator and DNA, which I don't really know what those could relate to. So I do think Banoi is a possibility. Whether they're actually going to go back to it, I don't know. But I definitely think it's something they might consider. And of course, the other possibility is we're just going to be going to a new location and we haven't had any real hints as to where so far. Obviously, the end of Dead Island 2, you see a few characters kind of fly away in a helicopter to God knows where. But it's possible that they are going to the new location where Dead Island 3 will be set. It's possible that we will be playing as Zombie in Dead Island 3. That would be really cool, by the way, bringing back some of the original characters. Still want to know what happens at the end of Dead Island 1, by the way, or Dead Island Riptide. You know, our characters, what happened to them? Did they all die? Because that was what I got from it, but Sam B's still around. To be fair, they might have just retconned all of Techland's lore. Let's be honest, I don't know what's true and what's not, because there is a ton of news about the outbreak from Techland that I don't think would hold up with the new writing of Dead Island 2. So, who knows how much they're considering canon from the prior games. So yeah, potentially the future could be that we go back to Banoi. It could be that we have a brand new location. And all we know for certain is it's not going to be in LA, so it's a pretty exciting time to be a Dead Island fan. Let me know down below what you think they're going to do. Do you think we'll be revisiting Banoi? I would really love to, I can't lie. But regardless, I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.